The World Happiness Report is largely based on a popular measure of life evaluation, which turns out to be closely related to economic prosperity. So it's no surprise that high GDP countries like the Nordics score highly in the World Happiness Report. In the Global Flourishing Study, one of the Nordics, Sweden, did indeed have a high score on life evaluation. But as some of my colleagues have written recently in the New York Times, quote, "When we widened the aperture, however, the picture changed. Sweden had only the 13th highest out of 22 composite flourishing score, essentially tied with the United States, and considerably lower than Indonesia, the Philippines, and even Nigeria, whose 2023 gross domestic product per capita was just under 2% of the United States. Most of the countries that reported high overall composite flourishing may not have been rich in economic terms, but they tended to be rich in friendships, marriages, and community involvement, especially involvement in religious communities." Tanzania ranked 136th in the World Happiness Report out of 147 countries, but scores higher in flourishing than Sweden, the United States, and many economically rich countries in the Global Flourishing Study. In fact, in the 2024 Mental State of the World report, featuring over 1 million participants, Tanzania had the highest mental well-being among the 82 countries studied, particularly among young people. Tanzania, where we find the world's highest level of mental well-being. This country has the third highest level of showing love and care, and not coincidentally, has the second highest level of feeling loved or cared for by God or a higher spiritual force. In fact, 97% of respondents in Tanzania feel loved by God, while only 18% of Swedes feel this way.